Hey everyone, welcome back to Mecha Norn. It's been a while since I've, done these with other people, but I have Irene with me,
Hi.
and I have Samsara.
Hashin!
Yep, kind of since semi-packed house, but it's alright, we can do this. It's three new shows this season. I am dropping Aquarion for a bit till the end, and I'll just review the series when this time we're gonna do Heavy Object, and the new Gundam series that's out, Gundam Blood Orphans, and Comet Lucifer. We're doing that as well. So, in case you are a fan of either of those shows, maybe you are, maybe you're not, but yeah. I guess we're gonna jump into Heavy Object, episode 2, the Snowy Deep Winter Battle of Alaska, part 2. So it's kind of gonna go along with that title probably.
Man, the title of this episode is almost as long as your standard light novel title.
Yeah, I was thinking more like Irregular Magic High School, how they had arcs that are like 6-7 episodes long.
Yeah.
They keep
Actually,
going.
was that even the whole title? Wasn't there something about Gulliver in there?
Yeah,
too?
there was something in the beginning, but
that's right.
I cut that out.
It had a very long title.
Right, yeah. So basically, I think it jumps right where we left off last week with our main heavy object kind of being blown up, and that what's her name? Yeah, Milandra kind of jumped out or parachuted out. So it's kind of weird seeing that happen. And I was expecting her not to be beaten this early. Yeah, it was kind of a surprise to me. What do you guys think?
Yep. I thought it was a surprise. Actually, I was more surprised that the object she was piloting got blown up so easily. I was thinking that was gonna go through the whole show, but it got blown up in the first episode.
Right.
So
Yeah.
I don't know if they're gonna rebuild it or.
Actually, I don't. I would say I was not surprised by this, because correct me if I'm wrong, but like in the first episode, they were saying like this is a all-range heavy Magnum baby thing that can work in like any atmosphere, any climate. And then they were talking about like, oh, but the Water Strider, it's all specialized. It's like,
That
wait a
actually,
minute,
I
doesn't that...
thought was weird to me. I thought that was weird when they first mentioned it because I'm like, well, wouldn't something that can work in all areas be superior to something that could only work in one area?
Right. Yeah. You think
It's like the argument of sniper rifle versus assault rifle. Assault rifle works everywhere, but sniper rifle kills from a distance.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah, it still seems silly, but yeah.
I'll definitely say, like, the very briefs you have of the objects versus objects fight, like, there's definitely an impressive sense of power behind these robots as they're charging through the Alaska Lake. They're the size of mountains, like, the direction on, like, making them feel like, holy shit, this could level a city. It's pretty good.
Right. Yeah. They did a good job on that. I mean, the scale, I guess, scale-wise, it does show you that, like they were saying in the first episode, only an object can fight an object, which makes sense. I mean, they had all those battleships in the first episode, they couldn't put a dent in it. So it's like,
Yeah, that super special island nation has got some pretty rad technology, Bosh.
Right, yeah. And then, I guess after that, that after she gets beaten, I guess the Water Strider kind of destroys the base without caring if they surrender or not. So he's not playing by the rules that were set in for the episode. So basically, just like, screw it, and just was destroying everybody. I think, yeah, kill a lot of people too, I would say.
Like we didn't see that coming.
Oh yeah, I mean, if you put like that rules in that, it's like everyone's not gonna follow the rules. Obviously, come on, like everyone should know that by now.
I mean, like, this is a exposition heavy thing. So I was like, well, don't you think there'd be like some special treaty with some long-winded name, like the nations of the world got together and signed the Declaration of Do Not Annihilate People Without Objects Treaty?
Yeah, you would think.
Like,
yeah.
Like if some kind of agreement, like don't kill these people who can't fight back. Like if that existed, I feel like this is the kind of show that would be like, and then we signed a treaty, and that treaty was named the Do Not Kill Innocent People Treaty, and that everyone lived happily ever after.
Well, yeah. I mean,
well, it's kind of funny because, like, supposedly this is our same like world. It's just in the future where something happened, of course. And
yeah, like the only technological
we already have
difference
rules
is
for that.
Right, we do.
Yeah, we got the Geneva Convention.
I mean, we already have rules that say, okay, if a person's having an SOS signal send out, you can't shoot them without repercussions.
Right, we have like supposedly nuclear arm thing here in the real world about certain countries can't have nuclear weapons. So
Thank goodness that Star Wars never came to pass. Otherwise, we would be Otherwise, Star
Blowing
Wars
up.
would be basically this show.
Yeah.
That'd actually be kind of funny.
It was, and also, you know, we had Melandra kind of distracting them. You know, she was basically putting an SOS that way she could lure the Water Strider away, but that really didn't help because he went on a rampage anyway. It didn't matter, so
Yeah, she
Yeah,
was,
kind of weird.
she was basically making herself like the decoy so everyone else could escape.
Right, yeah.
Yeah.
And then Quetzalcoatl.
I call him Quinn.
Yeah, Quinn's easier.
I like Quetzalcoatl.
It's just
Okay.
it's too long and too weird. It's Quinn.
It's a name no human being has. I mean, I'll give this show credit. Like, I've never heard a name like that, even in a Gundam show. Like, I mean, normally it's just shot weapon or something. Like, this is ridiculous.
Well, the
Yeah,
most normal name is the princess's name. I think Melinda. I think her name is. Or something.
right.
Yeah.
You could even cut it to like just this Linda if I wanted to, but
Yeah, Linda.
but with her, it's like, you know, like a Gundam, you know, Gundam Wing has Miliardo Peacecraft, which is a
Well,
weird
Miliardo
name.
is
This is
actually
kinda
a
weird.
word.
Yeah, this is.
Come on. We're
I
saving
mean-
Gundam for Gundam.
Yeah, I
This
know.
is have-
Yeah, stay
But-
on task. This is tough.
But
Stay
yeah,
on target.
yeah. But you know, he was told, you know, Quinn was all told, you know, let her. She's risking her life to save everybody, but of course he's not going to be the one to play by the rules, and he wants to go save her because he feels, you know, that she deserves to be saved. I guess he just like, well, she risked her life for us, so we should go save her, and so he goes against the rules. But I think everyone saw that coming. I mean, like,
Well,
they're
yeah.
not gonna kill her off. She's the lead character of the series. I mean, come on.
Well, she's
Is
not
she-
the lead character. She's best girl.
Well, she's the only girl down their side that.
Yeah, there's Russian
Yeah.
chick.
Right, but you know, for me, I'm
Probably.
wondering if it's only you know, girls or females that can pilot the objects. I haven't seen any male pilots, so I'm like, is that gonna be a
There's
thing
some
in the
other girls
series?
In the, preview,
Yeah.
though, in the opening credits. Stuff.
Right, I only saw one girl in another flight suit, so I'm like, yeah, I'm assuming that's the thing they're gonna be doing with this series. You know.
More.
Supposedly, I've heard that Quinn and Javia are like the main characters, and like
Mhm.
Melinda's, and like she's a main female character, but
Right.
she's not always gonna be with them or something like
She's
that.
the mus-
Right, yeah, she only comes in when they need to do the missions. That makes sense.
There
Yeah.
is one kind of thing I was a little not bothered by the writing, but like something about the writing that I wanted to bring up. Where they're like, Quen is like, yeah, Quen. He's talking about like, she was there fighting for us against these giant monsters, and
Mhm.
like these things are so scary. Oh my god! And like, I get that they're so scary, but like, the thing is, when you saw her Miliandra doing all those preparations, and you saw her like actually in combat, like she wasn't scared at all, right?
Mhm.
Yeah, so it's like, it feels like this fear was kind of invented after the fact. Because, like, she didn't, no one was, like, scared until the battle started. Like, you could argue, like, oh, but these people aren't actually going into combat. But, like, she wasn't shaking. She was inside a robot the size of a mountain. And, like, she wasn't, like, shaking. It's like, oh my god, I gotta do this or whatever. But, like, after she got her ass whooped, that's when suddenly the emotions start, like, resonating. So it's like,
Well, I
It
think
feels
that'd
like-
be normal for anyone. Like, oh, I'm about to lose this battle. Yeah, you're gonna
No.
start getting scared.
no, it's not even, like, about to lose. It's only after the fact. Like, after the fight is over, that's when they're all being like, you were there fighting against the most dangerous threat of all. And it's like, it's something about, like, the priorities of the emotions are kind of off for me. Because it's like,
Well, I mean,
I imagine, like, if you showed, like, maybe her doing, like, a little prayer before she got in, like, preparing herself for combat. Or maybe there was, like, a conversations where it's like,
well,
and I know
mean,
she had that conversation with Quen, but, like,
Yeah.
I don't remember every detail about it. They weren't talking about, like, every time I realize I'm the only person who has everyone's life in their hand. Like, if you had a conversation like that, then, like, I would buy all this stuff. Like, you're the one on the front lines against all these monsters. But, like, I don't know. I just don't buy the emotional argument the show is trying to make.
Well, you also gotta know that, you know, she's not an emotional character either. I mean, even you saw a little interaction she had with Quinn in the first episode. She wasn't really talkative. She's very quiet, very to herself. So it's like she's almost like a Ray from Eva. She's not emotional. She just when she fights. Also, you don't know.
Yeah.
Also, you don't know how many fights Milia or Linda's been in. You know, this may be her first battle. Really, they never talk
Yeah,
about
that
how
is
many
a-
fights she has.
That is a good point. We don't know anything about her
Right.
battle history.
Yeah, I mean, it's only the second episode. We're just really kind of getting introduced to her. She's sort of got that Kudere vibe to
Mhm.
her, where she's very like held back most of the time, but when the everything's going against the wall, she gets scared.
Mm-hmm. I
So
hear you.
it, I can buy her getting scared when they're losing and basically everybody's dying.
Hmm.
Everybody else I could definitely get because they haven't been in combat in like forever, and so they're mostly sit on the side behind computer screens, and all of a sudden this thing is not obeying the rules that they've known all this time, and they don't know what to do, and they're getting slaughtered by this thing they say that nobody can beat ever.
Right. Yeah. Pretty much. And speaking of that, we have Quinn. Basically learning how to kill. Like you just said a minute ago, they haven't really fought in like a long time, so they don't really do a lot of people on people fighting. So Quinn has to pull the trigger and like get a couple headshots, which again, I guess the gun they use is like it automatically locks on, so kind of makes it easy, I would say.
Mhm.
But even him, he's kind of freaked out that he has to actually pull this trigger, and he doesn't want to do it. So
That was something I kind of brought up in the first episode to me, which didn't make sense with the whole idea of heavy objects or just these objects taking the whole war, sort of thing over. Because I'm like, if you man-to-man fighting would be just as important in this world as any other world. Even if you had these gigantic things that can fight, they're really just giant tanks. If you have people that are going in and out of countries, doing subterfuge or whatever, they can strike just as heavy or even heavier a blow than these objects can.
Right.
So I don't see why they completely gave up, one-on-one combat.
Because my whole thing is like, even if you take out the object, what's stopping that country to rebuild a new one? I mean,
Yeah.
why not just take out the people, the engineers that build it, take everyone out, and just there you go, two birds, one stone, basically. Because even if you defeat the object again, they just rebuild it, and some of the pilot take over, and then just end this battle. It's never gonna stop.
Yeah, I think
the way I
the
look
Water
at it.
Strider learned that.
Right, exactly. He's just like, well, I'm gonna bypass the rules and do what I want to do, and wipe everyone out. So, but yeah, they come up with a plan. I guess the new plan is to, we have a pilot, we have a sort of mechanic. So why don't we just, steal theirs? What I think they're going to be doing. So they're going to try to steal the Water Strider. I think that's what they're planning to do next week. So it'd be kind of interesting seeing that, if they actually do it or not. So I
That's
don't
the
know.
whole point of having Gulliver.
Right.
Like, the tiny people take down the giants in case the tiny people are taking down the mecha.
Right. Yeah. Pretty much. That's why I can agree on that.
I actually thought my idea was that they were going to go and try to destroy, like you said, the Water Strider
Mhm.
by themselves. And I wasn't sure if they were going to try to do that by rebuilding pieces of the Baby Magna one that got blown up.
Right. I'm
But-
thinking that too.
I think that's a little much.
I don't know. Because I mean, he's supposed to be trying to be an engineer.
He wants to know
Which would
how they
make
work. Yeah.
sense.
Yeah, it's
And
like he's
she's a
not gonna
pilot.
like MacGyver together like an anti-object rifle or something.
Well,
I
I mean,
mean,
yeah.
Well, yeah.
I would love it if
so.
that happened, but I get the feeling that's not what happens.
I mean, what use is Melinda? She's a pilot, but
Right.
she wouldn't be able to do anything to the Water Strider other than to pilot it if they needed
Right,
to. But there's
that's-
already a pilot in it.
That's why I'm thinking that they're gonna
She's fake.
try to
She's
steal it.
fake.
Mhm.
If not, get inside and like you said, maybe destroy it from the inside. Because obviously you can't destroy it from the outside because it's got all the heavy plate armor. So I'm thinking if they can get inside of it, maybe they can wire it to explode. That's the only way I can see them actually doing it, or
They gotta block
stealing it.
people. You can make anything blow up like that.
Yeah. But yeah,
So, move on to
okay.
comment.
So I mean, no, Irene has here some about future events of the series.
Ah,
So what are the future events for the series now that the base has been destroyed? Will they create another one? So yeah, that's basically what we're talking about a minute ago. Like, what were they gonna do? So, since our object at the beginning of the main guys is destroyed, are they just gonna rebuild? Where they get the parts from? That's what I'm wondering. How
Well, I mean,
how long
they
it's gonna
have-
take?
they have other bases though. Like, remember when the commander,
Right.
she was like, "I can direct an army from over here to fight
Mhm.
over there." It's like, so they have they have places to fall back, and I'm sure like they can maybe build another Baby Magnum like at a factory or whatever.
Oh yeah.
One thing that also was funny to me, I think in the narration in the beginning of the first episode, they said that the world got so crowded that people were moving to the moon and stuff. But there's like every square inch of land had been, urbanized basically. And I'm like, you have a huge amount of land out there. Where did all the urban stuff go?
Right.
Like they said, all of this got taken up, and so there was no room, and that's why the wars were going on. I'm like, you do not see the vast Alaskan wasteland out there?
Come on, no one wants to live in Alaska. Don't be crazy.
Hey, we might have Alaskan viewers here.
Yeah, could be. Yeah, I thought it was a little. I think it's a little weird.
I'm sorry.
It's also like maybe the people on Earth were like, I'm tired of the objects destroying my house. I'm going to the moon. So I mean, that's what I would do. I mean, if every week there's an object fight, it's like, oh, here we go, another weekend destroyed because the ball of death is from my house.
I mean, it's like those people who live in Tokyo and are tired of Godzilla wrecking the
yeah,
suburbs. It's
I mean,
like, screw it, I'm moving to Hokkaido.
Like I mentioned, they get tired of it. Yeah.
Well, seriously, it's like New York keep getting blown up every 5 minutes.
Yeah, that's true. And what, you have some things, Samsura? I seen a little, bit of stuff here.
Did I? I think I got everything. Did I? No, I got all my points out.
Okay, yeah. Well, I mean, overall, that second episode, I think it's an improvement over the first. I know it's gonna take a while to get through this because this is obviously gonna be 24 episodes. So, my experience with the writer of this series, he's done several 24 episode series with JC Staff, and it usually takes like by episode 5 or 6 to get the ball rolling, where you're like, okay, now I can get into this.
Yeah, this and Gundam are both 25, 26, so they're in for the long haul.
What do you guys think about this episode? Anything that left out? Anything you want to see?
It definitely was a more pleasant viewing experience than the first episode.
Okay.
Yeah, I have to agree. I really wish they had led with this episode, or at least put them together. I would have totally been on board with it if I had seen this first, but I'm on board with it now.
Right. Yeah, the last thing I mentioned for me, it's a surprise seeing, I guess, her get beaten so fast. Usually, you wouldn't see that made to like midway point of the series to show you that, oh yeah, they can lose. A lot of shows, especially Shonen, they never show the main character lose. So to have them, show me that, oh yeah, we can get beaten easily. But I have a feeling that's going to be just a one-shot thing, where she's going to improve, obviously.
Pretty much.
But yeah. On